Roman Rudin, strange occurrence in the region of the heart. So we've read these other stories, and we're now up to this one, The Wind in Rome. Now, the storyteller here appears to be an unnamed Roman emperor, but the one of the named characters is Celestian, and he is the commander of Rome's navy. But the navy is essentially useless at the moment because there is no wind. But the emperor appears to think that this old lady and something in particular that she says may have the answer for them to sort out where the wind has gone and how to get it back. And she gives a prophecy, or she predicts the future in some way. So let's flick over to where she says this, and it's here. And I'll perhaps read from here down. And we start off with the emperor speaking about this, talking about this. He says, "The old woman lifts her hand and stretches it out to touch my face. Then she gazes long into my eyes. Finally, she says, 'In the mountains it was born. Over the sea it was lost. Search in the place where you have not yet looked.'" The emperor doesn't really understand that. He gets annoyed, but she carries on and says, "You cannot return that which you did not possess. If you find that which you have not lost, you might lose everything which belongs to you, and then also that which you are yet to have." And as you can see, that's hard to understand and probably very easily misunderstood. So one thing that happens is this seems to lead to the emperor thinking that his new wife is in fact a problem, and particularly her second unborn child. And he then attempts to stop that child from being born. He makes a metal girdle, or has it made, I should say, and it is put on her with the idea that it will stop the child from growing or perhaps being born. Um, Understandably, the wife, who's called Amira, immediately runs away. The emperor gives chase. He chases after her. And from that point on, she's then referred to as a fugitive. Someone who runs away is a fugitive. So let's flick over to the story where we are up to, that part of the story where we've got up to, I should say. And I think it's here. There we go. Some more time passes, and we run right up against them. I take a walk on the shore last thing before going to bed, and I notice a woman standing on the other side of a narrow inlet. Her silhouette clearly cast in the light of the moon which hangs huge over the sea. The woman's figure is sculpted superbly. It is a figure I have not yet had time to forget. Her hair stands proud above her head. I see how thickly her hair has grown. Its color, the shade of noble bronze. It has been woven into braids, many braids, thick and thin, marvelously interwoven, forming something reminiscent of an enormous cocoon. Amira sees me too. The moonlight illuminates my face, on which she reads serenity and composure. I am indeed composed, but as soon as I see Amira, the serenity instantly makes way for the cold anger which has fueled me through all these months of pursuit. I know, I know that these months have not been sufficient to carry a child to term. But since Amira is as shapely as she ever was, I conclude that the metal girdle, which, as before, she still wears, has done its job, and the child is no more. It is only her hair which makes her outline strange and unfamiliar. I look Amira over. The moon has risen higher, spilling its cold light all around. Amira is looking in my direction. She twirls slowly around where she stands and then takes a walk along the shore so that I can take a good look at her. Stopping, smiling, gingerly raising her hand to smooth her hair. I feel my own hair standing on end. Her motions, her smile, they are so familiar to me. But how is this possible? Once again, I inspect her carefully, and once again, I convince myself that Amira does have the figure of a pregnant woman, does not have the figure of a pregnant woman. But she does have all the rest, those fluid movements, that radiant smile, that cautious walk, and that hair. Just as Amira turns away from me to conceal herself in the undergrowth on the island, I realize that she has somehow managed to outwit me. That icy cold wrath once more takes its usual place inside me, and I yell something dreadful in her wake. The yell leaves my lungs along with my breath, and thus an icy wind rises over the sea, which compels Amira to return to the shore. I hear the moan of the wind and see that the water of the inlet that divides us is covered with ice. The ice seems quite strong, and I hurl myself into a run across the ice towards Amira, never taking my eyes from her. I see that she is perplexed, that she is clutching her inconceivable hair with both hands, and hear her breathing heavily and sorrowfully. Her breath is mother to a wind which rises when I have already run halfway across the icy inlet. But now the warm air of her breath knocks me off my feet. The ice melts, and I find myself in the cold water. My oarsmen, who have hurried over on my hearing my yells, help me out of the water and onto the beach. They start a fire and bring me dry clothes. And when they are sure that I am once again warmed through, they begin their questions. I tell them that I have seen the fugitives on the neighboring island, that we have at last almost overtaken them. And I mean to tell them about the ice and the wind. My oarsmen do not evince any happiness. On the contrary, their expressions are guarded, and they seem strange to me. It is already quite light, and looking in the direction of the island where Celestian and Amira are hiding, I see a distant, almost indistinguishable strip of shore. Maybe my eyes deceive me, and in fact there is no shore there at all. The next few days, and it may be many more, I spend in an unconsciousness and fever. A plunge in cold water can sometimes have such an effect. Every night I see Amira across the inlet. The moon at her back wanes ever smaller, while the cocoon on her head, which which conceals within it our child, grows in size.